There are two different ways in which we measure the wealth of countries. One of those ways is looking at the GDP. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product, which represents the size of a country's economy, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello everyone, I'm Court McGinley and welcome back to the most amazing top 5. Sit back, subscribe, and let me entertain you. Now before we get started on this list, I want to know, where were you born? Let me know your answer down in the comments. Alright, let's start this list on the top 5 poorest countries in the world. Coming in on number 5 spot, Democratic Republic of the Congo, with the GDP per capita being 442.34. In this country, there have been long-running conflicts that continue to prevent political, institutional, and economical development. This country has an extremely dysfunctional economic system, which is really confusing as the Democratic Republic of the Congo holds some of the most extensive natural resources, which includes diamonds as well as other precious stones. In recent years, there have been an increase in export revenue. However, there is still a lot that needs to be done before the economy can make a serious name for the nation on the global market. In at number 4, Niger, with the GDP per capita being 427.37. This is the largest country in West Africa. Most of its territory is covered by the Sahara Desert, which limits its economic activities. This country is also completely landlocked and doesn't have many resources. The part of the country not covered by the desert often experiences droughts and continuous climate change. And in our number 3 spot we have Central African Republic, with the GDP per capita being 358.54, with a high number of its population living in rural areas, where farming is the most important occupational activity. This is among one of the world's least developed countries. For years it's been taken over by violence, political mismanagement, corruption, and widespread poverty. The economy in Central Africa Republic is largely dependent on the export of diamonds, which bring in between 40 to 55% of the country's export revenues. But it turns out at least half of these diamonds are sold on the black market, thereby denying the government the tax revenue. In our number 2 spot is Burundi, with a GDP per capita being 286. Burundi is a landlocked African country, with a large amount of its population depending on the upkeep of agriculture. This place has a history filled with conflict and military coups that have continuously derailed the long-term possibility for development, while over 80% of the country's population live under the poverty line. And in our number 1 spot, Malawi, with the GDP per capita being 255.04. Malawi is a landlocked African country on the southeastern edge of the continent. Now, while its economy has been slightly improving in recent years, it continues to have high inflation and heavy reliance on donor financing, which makes it difficult to sustain an improved standard of living. Malawi continues to struggle with massive problems when it comes to its economic system, including HIV and AIDS pandemic. Also, back in 2015, there were devastating floods that almost left 250,000 people homeless, and it destroyed well over 34,000 acres of cropland, making the economic troubles even more serious. Well, there you guys have it. That is our list of the top 5 poorest countries in the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.